Hello again and welcome to my workshop. I'm Iron Bear. Today I'm going to look at two Cygnar models, the Trencher Master Gunner and the Trencher Commando Scattergunner. Then I'm going to show you a basing technique I like to use with my trencher units. The Trencher Master Gunner is a solo who can choose one of three actions. Artillerist gives one friendly model within its command range a +2 to ranged AoE attacks. It also allows the model to re-roll direction and distance of deviation. This is great for a grenadier or the trencher cannon. His second action, Close Fire, allows one model with blast damage to not hit other friendlies with said blast damage. Nice if you have a bunch of friendly trenchers near a warjack or a solo that needs to be blasted. And finally, because he's a trencher solo, he has Dig In. The Trencher Master Gunner has a scatter gun, which is an 8-inch spray POW 12, great for those pesky lines of winter guard closing in on your sniper. He also has the obligatory trench knife, advanced deploy, and is a commander. The Master Gunner model has the same problem as all the new trencher models. The tab that slots into the base is too big. I had to widen the base to get the tab in. The left arm has the trench knife, more like a trench sword. The pieces have a nice fitted hole for the knife arm, though I had some trouble getting it into place. Maybe because I was looking through the screen of my camera. The Trencher Commando Scattergunner is a weapon attachment for Trencher Commandos. He comes with the same 8-inch spray POW 12 gun as the Master Gunner, but he also gets Stealth, Advanced Deploy, and Anatomical Precision, which makes him a melee sniper. Since he's a weapon attachment, they also gave him Take Up, which means you can't try and single him out of the group. Another model within 1 inch can take up the scattergun if he's killed. Oh yes, and there's a field allowance of 2, and you can pay for up to 3 gunners per attachment. 6 POW 12 sprays running around the field should give infantry machine players some pause. Again, the Scattergunner's tab won't fit into the slot, so it has to be widened. The gun is a little fiddly, but fits nice when you get the right position. Both models have great detail and are more dynamic than the original trencher models. I think they will be nice pieces to show off in my trencher army. I have a soft spot for my trenchers. These are the guys that slog through the mud to defend a city or lay siege to an enemy fortification. I decided with my first trenchers to base them in mud to give them a special feel. To represent the mud, I use household spackle. To me, it's the right consistency and dries nice and hard. I use a split popsicle stick to spread it around the base. I don't worry about getting it on the model or on the side of the base. The trooper has been slogging through the mud for weeks, and a little on his boots or greatcoat won't be out of place. If you get somewhere you don't want it, just wait for it to dry and it should flake off the metal pretty easily. And I like a little leaking over the side of the base. It gives the model a mucky, oozy feel. I mush the spackle around to show it's been trampled by hundreds of trencher boots. After the spackle dries, I prime the model. Spackle sucks in the paint, so the primer kind of seals it, so you'll use less of your brown paints. I also dry brush the models with a little jackbone to give it some definition for the video. For the brown base, I use bootstrap leather. I wasn't too picky about the paint job here. If it goes on the model or the sides of the base, I'll paint it over later. I need to make sure all the mud is covered. Next I used brown ink. I didn't dilute it, just straight out of the bottle. The idea here is to give it a pooled, wet feel. After the ink dried, I dry brushed a bit of the high areas with Hammerfall khaki to show that some of the mud is drying up. I didn't go too crazy with the dry brushing because I want the overall feel to be wet. Finally, I put a little green flock to represent grass. I figured the battlefield wasn't always muddy. There was probably grass there at one time, so it may pop up in places. Again, a little bit gets the idea across. Don't put down too much. I usually wait until the model is painted to put down flock, but for the sake of the video, I'm doing it now. So there you go. With some paint, my new trenchers will be ready to join their units on the field. I hope this video was informative. For Guts and Gears, I'm Iron Bear.